Pastor Brian from Summit Church here. Ash Wednesday is a week from today. We celebrated our first Ash Wednesday service at Summit Church in 2020, so it's still a relatively new thing for us here at Summit. And there's one aspect of Ash Wednesday that you may not be aware of, even if you've come every year, because it's something that doesn't really come out in the service itself. Ash Wednesday is the topic for this week's edition of Wednesday's Words with Pastor Brian. Ash Wednesday is something I added to Summit Church when I became lead pastor. And while some folks see Ash Wednesday as being a Catholic thing, you may be surprised to hear I got the idea from another Baptist church in our denomination. The fact is, many Protestant churches celebrate Ash Wednesday too, in the same way that both Catholic and Protestant churches celebrate Advent. And it's actually our annual celebration of Advent at Christmas time that led me to believe we should add Ash Wednesday at Summit Church. And here's what I mean by that. It seems to me we do a great job at Summit Church celebrating Christmas. The season of Advent has been part of the natural rhythms of church life here for decades, and it includes a lot of symbols and elements. We have Christmas music, we have a 4-part sermon series, we also have an Advent wreath with 4 candles that we light, and the color of each candle is symbolic for the different characteristics of Jesus. The red one's for his blood, the white candle reminds us of his holiness, the green candle shows that eternal life is found in Jesus, and the purple candle is for Jesus' majesty, reminding us that he's the King of Kings. And then we have a special service on Christmas Eve when we light the gold candle, signifying that the light of the world has come, and we pass that light from person to person, symbolizing how the message of salvation is shared from person to person. All of these elements combine to give a unified picture of who Jesus is, so we understand what we're actually celebrating on Christmas with the birth of this child. Now, according to the Bible, Easter is the main event for Christianity. The Apostle Paul said that if Jesus didn't rise from the dead, we're most to be pitied. So as your pastor, I want to do a similarly good job preparing us for Easter. And that's why we introduced some new elements at Summit Church over the last 4 years to help with that. And it begins with Ash Wednesday. Just like the candles that we light at Christmas help us understand that the light of the world had come, so also ashes are a symbol that helps us understand what Easter is all about. And you'll hear more about the meaning and symbolism of the ashes next Wednesday night. Like I said a moment ago, there's one aspect of this that a lot of folks in our tradition probably aren't aware of. The ashes we use are made by burning the palm fronds from the previous year's Palm Sunday service. And in doing this, it shows the cycle of the year passing by. I have the fronds from last year's Palm Sunday service right here. Many of you were here that day. We passed out fresh palm fronds as you came in, and we had an exercise where you could come up and lay your palm frond on the table. After church, I went up and saved them. Now, they've been here in my office for almost a year now, and as you can see, they're dry and brittle. And the reason I saved them is so we could use them this year to make the ashes for Ash Wednesday. When you come next week, on Wednesday night, the ashes that we apply to your forehead in the shape of a cross come from the palm branches you used to celebrate Jesus as King. And this cycle continues as we wait for Jesus to return. Isn't that cool? We'll have palm fronds again this year on April 24th, and I will save them again for next year unless Jesus comes back, which would be fine with me. The cyclical nature of this is new for many folks, but I wanted you to see how it helps tie everything together. Now, let me be clear. There's nowhere in the Bible where we're instructed to put ashes on our foreheads in the shape of a cross to prepare for Easter. Just like there's nowhere in the Bible that we're told to light candles at Christmas time. We use these symbols to help turn our thoughts and our hearts toward God's truth and to help us fully understand our Christian faith. And growing in our faith is part of what discipleship's all about. Ash Wednesday this year is on February 14th, 1 week from today. The service that night night will be at 7 o'clock. Now, we won't be live streaming the service because it's really participatory in nature. We do our best to make sure folks who can't make it here can still participate in a lot of what we do through the live stream. But Ash Wednesday, by its very nature, is different. It's something you have to really be here for. I hope you will join us next Wednesday as we use the symbol of ashes to reflect on our sin and our mortality and prepare to celebrate how Jesus overcame both of those through his resurrection on Easter.